You are now watching the Movie Juice Podcast.
The juice is loose.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of the Movie Juice Podcast. I'm Dylan.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm James. Movie juice, movie juice, movie juice, movie juice, movie juice.
Juice that movie.
Oh yeah!
Oh fucking shit.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Torque!
Let's go. And you thought we couldn't do it again.
Pretty good.
Jokes from fucking you.
I'm just a
Did
little.
anyone see that?
Yeah, no, I did.
Okay.
You threw the
I'm
whole
sorry.
microphone.
Yeah, put the whole mic
Do it
in my
again.
mouth.
That's crazy,
That
bro.
was pretty good.
You think you could do the red one?
I don't want to stand up, but I probably.
Yeah. Just do that one again. Stop the noise you make.
That's crazy.
So
bro.
sorry for the audio listeners.
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, there's no visual
It's
listeners.
just audio listeners, my boy.
If you have eyes, fuck them.
Dylan just shoved his entire mic in his mouth, pretty much. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm going to sit a little goose.
So now we know what that mouth do. All right, so this week we're just gonna kind of be talking about things that we've been getting up to lately.
Yep.
Games,
Shenanigans, chicanery,
games we've been playing.
debauchery.
Debauchery.
You know, stuff we've been watching like on our own time, and
Lobotomies.
maybe talk about some light reading if it applies.
Do memes count as light reading?
Memes do not count as light
Is
reading.
mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick.
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Tartar sauce is
Drum
not an
section.
instrument either.
So Dylan, what have you been? So I guess we'll start with playing
Good.
just to get it out of the way real fast. Dylan?
Yeah, I've been playing Lego Marvel superheroes. I forgot the name of it at first. I think I'm almost done with it. I don't know if I'm going to be an overachiever and platinum it, but
Be a lot cooler if you did.
yeah, it'd be a lot cooler if I didn't.
Says he.
Yeah, because I got to do my darkness retreats, bro.
Yeah, that's true. What is a darkness retreat?
It's where you just sit in the dark room, board up the windows, board up everything, and just sit in the room, pitch black, nothing. You can do it up to a whole week, like Aaron Rodgers, or you could just do it forever long you want.
You just do like mini ones at night, bro.
Do mini ones? Yeah.
That's cool, man. I respect that grind.
I'm really in my Aaron Rodgers era, so maybe when I tear my Achilles just at the gym, I can just use the sounds of dolphin noises to heal it.
Sounds good to me.
That's a real fucking thing. I just want you to know that. Well, what have y'all been up to? Y'all
What
been
you
crying?
been playing?
What you been
So
playing?
I've been playing.
Except for games with my heart.
That's pretty good.
I beat. I think this is the last time we talked. I beat BioShock Infinite.
Hell
Play-
yeah.
Platinum it?
No,
Okay.
I'm playing it on. Well, I didn't complete it or nothing.
You know what else is infinite?
My love for you,
Exactly.
dude. Dap me up right now, big
Big
dog.
dog.
Big dog. Yes, sir.
Ooh, I like that.
So I beat BioShock Infinite, and then I bought the Master Chief Collection on Steam. It was really cheap.
Hell yeah, you're my Master Chief.
And I beat Halo Reach and the first Halo already. I'm going to try to grind through at least, probably through ODST. I probably won't play 4 because I think 4 kind of sucks.
Are you gonna play Halo Reach Around?
Maybe.
You wanna play it later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to lately as far as gaming goes, you
Is
know.
your fuck style Buck Wild?
No, that's Dylan.
Okay,
That's
gotcha,
me,
gotcha.
full on.
Apparently my fuck style is not that bad, though.
Fair enough.
Not Buck Wild.
No.
It's not Buck Wild.
I touched my hand with that. I touched my cock with that hand.
Hey, it's cool,
Oh,
man.
that's a
It's payback
callback
from
to
a
a
few
couple
weeks ago.
episodes ago.
Yeah. Jork! Yeah.
We're gonna be unhinged in this episode. I can tell.
Yeah, well, who's going to pop their shirt off this week?
Oh, shit.
Oh, Kyle. Well,
Kyle's popping his shirt off. Woo! Kyle's shirtless. Look at that chest hair.
dude.
Look at that ginger Wonderland.
That's a callback to when you did your monkey impression.
That wasn't bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I do like
Thanks,
that.
man.
You're really,
I've been doing my
You've practiced a lot.
years.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty ridiculous.
Wild.
Yeah, dude, fucking. I'm not gonna break it out right now, but it might happen later.
Fuck yeah, if you take your shirt off next.
So what you been playing, Kyle?
Apparently games with your heart.
yeah.
that was good. I started playing this game because it was free on PlayStation, last month that I downloaded it. I played a little bit on the Xbox called Tunic. It's kind of like Zelda, kind of like Dark Souls. He plays a little animated fox with a sword. It's pretty fun.
Sounds fun.
That's about it. I played a little Persona the other day, but not a lot. Maybe for like 20, 30 minutes.
Right. You just kind of taking a little break ski.
Yeah.
My boy be platinum and shit, so he's got a little cool down time
True.
sometimes.
But, today I just picked up Elden Ring with the DLC, so
yeah, very cool.
probably hopping into that this weekend.
I've been contemplating buying Alone in the Dark.
Yeah, because you didn't buy it earlier, you asshole.
I'm thinking about
You
getting
could have bought it with the homies and had a memory of buying a game with the homies.
Could have.
I've been really thinking about buying the RoboCop game too. I want to play through it because I'm a big RoboCop guy. Love that
Yeah, yeah.
motherfucker. The
RoboCop. I want your RoboCop.
the
What
first
up?
movie's really good.
Oh, I watched a movie that involved RoboCop.
Yeah,
So, huh.
What movie?
we'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it. Don't worry.
Any like reading for you, butter?
Yeah, I finished my volume of Berserk.
Yeah, how was it?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, dude.
Was,
My boy likes to read, bro.
It's true.
I haven't read anything lately. I've been thinking about picking up a collection of short stories by Stephen King.
Nerd.
Haven't decided whether or not I'm gonna buy it though, because it's like $18. You read manga.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to call someone else a nerd, because I got called a nerd earlier.
Double fuck you.
as I was running towards the wrestling
The
magazine.
Yeah,
Those are rare.
we're running to the wrestling magazines, and Dylan stops by where Kyle's out of the manga section and goes, "Nerd."
Nerd alert.
And then we just immediately like grab these fucking wrestling magazines and just.
I also point out that the barcode was like right over Dwayne Johnson's trunk.
He looked
I
naked.
was like, The Rock looks naked.
Yeah,
I wanna see
that
his-
happened.
I want
Hell
to see
yeah.
Dwayne Johnson.
All right, so we're just gonna talk about.
watch ATV.
Nah.
I know he really he maybe watches Parks and Rec with the wife. But
Dude,
other than that, I know
there's no
you don't watch TV a lot.
There's no TV in the Darkness Retreat.
That's true.
This motherfucker's gonna hold to that.
No, I'm just, no, we watched Parks and Rec a good bit throughout the week.
Very cool.
You?
Yeah, I haven't really been watching anything, man. Like, since I've been grinding games like I have been, I just, I don't want to, like, throw something on in the background because I play on my PC and I also, like, watch TV on my PC. And, like, with the audio coming out of, like, the same speakers for both things, just kind of jumbled. It gets really messy for me.
That's why I do headphones a lot. Like, because I play with the headphones anyway. Because, like, you can plug it into the controller.
Yeah.
So I'll have, like, one headphone for the game. If I'm playing something, I don't want to pay attention to. And then I'll just put my AirPod in the other one.
But, so I haven't really been watching anything as far as that. I've watched a couple movies this week. Kyle put a shirt back on. Just a heads
It got
up for
cold.
everybody.
I actually kind of got cold. I'm not going to lie.
My
Yeah.
man gets cold sometimes.
Dude.
So suck a dick!
Suck a dick, bro. I'm sorry, Sheik. Suck
Yeah.
a dick, bro. Sheik's the cat.
Honestly, this basement gets hella cold.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, dude. Well, you're
crazy.
like underground,
Yeah, well, also, the air unit's right there. It's a giant one.
That's true,
but we're also
yeah.
underground.
You know what else is giant? My love for the homies.
Same.
You know it's not giant. My cock.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey man.
I watched the new episode of The Boys. It was good. I watched the new episode of The Acolyte, the Star Wars show. It's pretty good.
The boys, I don't remember doing a show.
Call back.
The boys. All right,
Good
Dylan.
shit.
So,
Good yard.
who wants to start first with the movies they watched this week?
I watched 3, so I guess I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first one is a little movie, a little horror. All mine are horror, by the way. I got into a horror
Dude.
mood this week.
All of mine are
I
also
know-
horror, but
I
that's
know-
the majority of the movies I watch.
I know we don't have a soundboard at this point, or we probably won't get one at this point either. But that would have. I had a sound on there though that just goes, "Who cares?" And like whenever you said, "This was the movie I was watching this week," that would have been a perfect time to hit the "Who cares?"
Oh.
I care. Our listeners care.
I care too, but like
We have a
It would have been funny. Yeah, I get it.
It
But
would.
like we used to run an old podcast back in the day, and we had a soundboard. So I always think with the soundboard brain, when would be a perfect time to hit a certain sound.
Fuck yeah.
That never went away. It kind of haunts my daily conversations.
Who cares? I get it.
Continue, my beautiful ginger.
My first one I watched because they just announced the sequel with a new trailer. I watched Smile,
Oh yeah.
and it's a movie where
It
basically,
is a movie.
That was my thought process.
so basically, motherfuckers are haunted by
Smiles.
yes, by basically like people who like this entity, kind of like It Follows. That's one of my notes, by the way. Which, by the way, I took notes on all these movies, so it's gonna be a little funnier and cool. What's up?
I have a question. So, is this kind of like the movie The Happening, but with smiles instead of the wind?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Trust me, it's in the notes. I promise you, it's in the notes. Just trust me, it gets funny. So basically, it's kind of like this entity like It Follows, where like it like can impersonate anybody, and like if it sees you, it just like smiles at you, and then you kill yourself basically. You unalive yourself. I'm sorry.
I think you can use the words.
Okay.
I think TikTok you can't use kill yourself.
Gotcha.
I think YouTube they allow it.
So I remember it starts out where this chick who, spoiler, I'm not gonna say spoiler for everything, but like she's got the demon. She's the first person the demon's with, and it's just she comes into this chick's office who her mom like killed herself when she was a kid, and she kind of witnessed it happen. Like, oh shit, she overdosed. And then she becomes a therapist to help other people. And my first note is just very uncomfortable chairs to have a therapy session, man. Because like you ever sit in one of those little chairs that like kids have in their little play, like when they're playing house?
Yeah.
And like it was those fucking chairs, and I was like, that looks real. Like, why would you want to have a therapy session in those fucking uncomfortable ass chairs?
I remember the marketing campaign for the first one.
Yeah, because that's one of my notes. Is like, because I remember to have through the movie. I was like, oh yeah, don't forget to mention that. Because I remember we were watching a baseball game live.
Yeah,
and we just happened to see that person with a shirt that said "smile" on it.
Yeah, and then she was doing the creepy ass smile.
Yeah.
And I felt uncomfortable for 90% of that.
Because we didn't know if it was real or not. We're like, is this real or is this one a marketing campaign? We really didn't know.
Yeah.
It was really creepy. Because like, it was one of those times we were really into baseball, and like we just happened to catch that game, and I was like, why is this happening? And then later on, we saw the memes of other people doing it in other games. But I was like, well, this is weird that we caught it live, accidentally, for a movie that we said we might see, but we weren't sure if we were going to see or not.
Yeah, we never made it to.
Yeah, which is why I watched it now. But then my second note just says, serving It Follows energy. Because she's talking to the therapist, and she's like, it can impersonate maybe someone you know, someone you don't know. And I was like, oh, that's very It Follows.
Yeah, I thought that too when I watched the movie.
Yeah. And then my third note is bring up the weird ass marketing strategy they had.
Yeah. Hell it worked.
And then my next note just says, Jesus Christ, they're going for it, aren't they? This bitch smiled as she slit her throat.
I remember that in the trailer.
Yeah, because like she's just like, and like she starts from like up here and just fucking, and she just smiles. And then even when she's dead, she's still smiling. It's like the smile stuck on her face.
That's horrifying.
It's creepy. And I was like, oh shit. And then this I thought was funny. I was like, I literally looked at it because I was like, yeah, sure, we've gotten the title card already. And then it goes into the title card, and I looked to see how long it had been. The title card comes 14 minutes into the movie.
Wow.
Title card.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's a little long for a title card. But it's kind of like a cold open. It was cool.
Yeah, it definitely. I remember it sets up the movie.
And then my next note just says in all caps, "Cute kitty," cat emoji, because she comes home after the patient does that, and she's got this cat, and the cat's name is called Mustache, and it's a cute little white cat with like a little black mustache. It's so cute. It's like, oh, mustache.
Mustache cash dash.
What? And yeah, so she has a cute little kitty. And then my next note, you don't watch The Boys, you won't know, but I was like, oh shit, A-Train is in this movie. Because her fiance is A-Train, which is basically the Flash in The Boys.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Because I've never seen him in anything besides that show. So I was like, oh, cool, it's A-Train. And then, let's see, my next note just says, everyone in this movie is kind of an asshole. And I can't remember why I put that. I'm not going to lie. But like, I remember like they were, because I think it was because like, the next day the cops are interrogating her, asking her about the thing. And this one cop just being like a really big dick about mental illness. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, that chick was crazy, right? She was a head case. So I think I was just like, these people don't really treat mental illness right, because they were like being really assholes about it, calling people crazy.
Sounds about the real world.
Yeah, exactly. Because then my next note literally says using the word crazy a bit too much for a psychiatric hospital. Because like I said, they really weren't taking it seriously. They were kind of being assholes about it. And then my next note, because it doesn't really follow you. It just like smiles at you. So my next note just says it follows, but it doesn't actually follow. I just forgot to mention Kumar, because her boss is Kumar from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah,
That's cool.
And I was like, oh, it was nice to see him in something. And he's like a really cool boss, because like
Cal Penn, I think.
Yeah.
his name is.
the former Obama speechwriter.
Yeah.
He's like pretty understanding and right. Like he tries to like be good to her or whatever.
Yeah, like he's cause she's like, oh, she needed, cause she's still traumatized about her mom, and she's like, yeah, it was the right thing to do, was to give this lady care, even though she didn't have insurance. And he's like, yeah, that's fine, just come to me so I can help you kind of get ahead of it, which was nice. So it's like you can tell he's a boss that truly cares for the patients and stuff, which is nice.
A boss that cares? That must be nice.
Right. Because there's later on when she goes to dinner with her in-law. The in-laws are assholes. The brother-in-law is like, like I thought you. He's like, why didn't you become a doctor like everyone else to make fucking buttloads of money? And I was like, you're a dick. Like she actually cares. You're being a dick about it. And then this movie has a lot of cool upside down shots in it. I guess it's supposed to like symbolize her like kind of losing her grip on reality. Because I think I have it multiple times where I'm just like, oh, another cool upside down shot. So a lot of that. And then I just put, this bitch hates wine glasses. Because she's later on that night, she pours a glass of wine, which, like, really, she only pours, like, a little bit of wine. It's crazy. Like, she doesn't pour, like, a whole glass. She just pours literally, like, almost like just a sip. And I was like, that's crazy. Because, like, why not just drink the bottle at that point? But then she pans over to and she sees the chick smiling, like, out of the corner of her eye again. And it kind of does the Hereditary thing where, like, there is something in the shot, but, like, it's framed in a way where, like, she doesn't realize it. She's like, is that there or not? And then, like, that's when A-Train, her fiance, comes home. And she drops the wine glass because she gets scared. And then it happens again later where she drops another one. And then, because the fiance is even like, did you break another wine glass? So I was like, this bitch really hates wine glasses. And then that's when I also put that the cat's name is Mustache. Because I didn't know its name earlier. And then later on, we find out that Mustache is missing. So I just put also, Mustache is missing. If dead, we riot.
For real.
Because that cat was cute as shit. She ends up going to this kid's birthday party, who she didn't want to go to originally. And we find out she wrapped her fucking dead cat up. Because the cat does die. Spoiler alert.
Wow.
R.I.P.
Did
you riot?
Yeah, because then
I'm
one
about
note
to.
it literally in all caps just says, "We fucking riot" with like 10 exclamation points.
I
I
like your next note because that's literally one of the only things I remember from that movie.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
And one other thing I want to say was the kid's birthday candle was a fucking pyrotechnic because it was like a candle, but like it was like shooting sparklers out of it. And I was like, I wish I was that lucky to have a birthday cake like that.
They really Katy Perry fireworked it.
They really
I never
did.
really had a birthday cake. So.
And so she ends up, that happens, and then that's when her sister's kind of like, all right, cool. You're clearly losing your mind a little bit from this thing that you say is following you, but we can't fucking see. And then we fucking riot because the cat's dead. And then my next note just says, Carla? Question mark? Exclamation point? Because she goes to investigate.
The thing that's following her, right?
Yeah, because we find out that if you see the person who it's inhabiting kill themselves, it passes on to you. So then she looks up who she realizes that the girl originally who slit her throat saw someone else kill themselves. So she goes to investigate him, and he goes to go talk to the wife, who the wife is Carla from Scrubs.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, oh shit,
bro.
I was like, that's crazy.
I haven't seen her being really anything.
Same.
I remember whenever I was watching it in the theater, I was like, oh my god,
Look who
nice.
the fuck it is.
Fucking Carla.
But then she gets more information, and then we kind of realize that, like, this thing kind of can sense past trauma in you, and that's what it kind of uses to worm its way into people. And that's why my note, I just said, I was right. If you see the suicide, it passes to you.
Which makes it, like you said earlier, with it being like It Follows, it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Because in It Follows, you gotta fuck the person who has it, and then it starts following you instead.
Right.
Huh.
And that's what I put. I take it back. It's not It Follows. It's The Happening. Because motherfuckers just keep killing themselves.
So wait, so if you see someone about to kill herself, you close your eyes, you're good?
See, that's what I thought too. Because later on, there's this other guy who knows how it passes on, and he clearly can tell that she gets inhabited by it. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just run the fuck away? If you run away and don't witness it, then you're good, right?
Yeah, you just close your eyes, and it's a smile. You can't hear a smile.
Yep. Because she finds out later that like it's coming for her, and like she only has like a little time left because most people die within like 4 to 5 days, and like that's when she gets the idea to kind of, if I'm alone and if I can't pass it on to anybody, I'll be fine. That's when I'm like, yeah, I guess you could just live your life in isolation the whole time, but like that would kind of suck, and probably like you probably have to see somebody eventually.
Yeah. Well, with today's technology, maybe not.
True.
You get all your groceries just fucking delivered now.
I should do her job though. Like I know you can work from remote, but you'd have to, I don't know, go there eventually, right?
Or gouge your fucking eyes out to be blind.
Shit.
Well, that's an option.
Yeah.
That is an option. She is acting rather a little crazy. And I just put, if she wanted to not be taken crazy so much, maybe she shouldn't act crazy. Because she's trying to explain it to her sister of like, yeah, it's this thing that's following me, and I'm cursed. And like I watched this person kill themselves. Now it's on to me, and I have to pass it on. And I was like, you really sound crazy. Like I probably wouldn't believe you either.
That reminds me of that scene from The Invisible Man. Whenever like she finally meets up with her sister at the restaurant,
Yeah.
and then like the Invisible Man kills her sister.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
That was a cool scene.
that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's a good movie. We should do that one.
Yeah.
After talking to like all them, she ends up going to this burger joint, and I just put fucking up a big greasy burger after a hard day. I've been there. Because it's like, it's really this gross ass burger, and she's just like chewing it. It's a big fucking burger, and I was like, yeah, I get it. I've been there.
I do love me a good wet burger.
True. And then this is when I kind of figured it out. Like, it's back to It Follows, but instead of spreading through sex, it spreads through trauma. Because like, you know, whoever kills them, you see them kill themselves, it passes on to them. And then later on, there's this really cool scene where the therapist comes over and they're talking about something, and then she gets a phone call. And then on the phone call is the therapist. And she's like, oh, fuck. And then she realizes the therapist who's with her right there is the demon. It's a really cool thing where, like, because I knew it was pretty predictable. Like, where the phone rings and I'm like, that's probably going to be the actual thing, right? And then she's like, oh, yeah, I wanted to see when you want to get together. And she's like, you see her slowly realize, like, oh, what the fuck is in front of me then? And then she just starts to smile and gets crazy. But then I just put, there's this weird cut where the demon got her, where like it gets her pinned up to the wall, and then it just cuts to later on, and I'm like, how did she get out of that situation? Like I really hated that. Like they just cut from that. Like why would you do that? It's like I was like, how do we know it didn't get her? Because I remember there's one part where she's like, it's almost time, Rose, and I'm like, why not just do it now?
Yeah.
Like it's not like Pennywise where it feeds on the fear. I was like, why not just do it now? And then this is where we get another cool upside down shot. And then when she goes to confront her past trauma in the house where she watched her mom kill herself, I just put a tired old trope of like a tall woman with dark hair, because I'm just really sick of that in horror.
Oh yeah.
Because they do it again where like it's like her mom, but it's like all deformed and shit. And I was like, I'm tired of that trope. Because we just watched I watched Barbarian, and it's got the same thing in it, like The Ring. All sorts of shit like that. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of that. And then she burns down her childhood home as an allegory for trauma. And then in the end, she still gets got. And then her ex-boyfriend is the one who has to pass it on.
I was gonna ask, does she die at the end?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
So like, I know a lot of people.
Is the sequel her boyfriend?
Yeah, because I didn't watch the trailer until after I saw the movie. Because like the whole movie, I'm like, I wonder if he's gonna, if they're gonna go a different completely route for the sequel, or if he's gonna be in it. And then I saw him in the trailer. I was like, okay, so he must. Because you find out that one of the ways to pass the demon on is to kill somebody, instead of them watching you kill yourself. If you kill somebody, it passes on to whoever watches it, because it's like forcing the trauma onto them. And like I remember I was listening to Dead Meat. They were talking about it. I think this might be what it is, because he's clearly alive in the next movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if. Since he's a cop, because the ex-boyfriend's a cop, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna lead into the problematic trope where like maybe he can kill someone and actually get away with it, and like I wonder if they're gonna lead into that aspect of it, because I was like, that is kind of fucked up. Though, like, yeah, I wonder. All he has to do is like self-defense, but he could get away with it. I'm like, oh shit. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, but it's a pretty good movie. I'd give it like I think I give it like a 3 stars on Letterboxd. It was pretty good. It wasn't great. It wasn't anything special, but it was
Out of
fun.
our Movie Juice 10 scale, what would you give it?
What's that? Probably like a 5.
Maybe a 6, I think.
But yeah, that's 6. Yeah, that's good. That's great enough. Because I liked it more than some other stuff, but it wasn't crazy.
You think you watched 2, so that's 1. What were the other 2 movies?
This next one's called Totally Killer. It's basically Back to the Future 2, or just Back to the Future. Right? It's Back to the Future, like with a slasher.
Oh, okay.
Basically, her mom and her dad, 3 of their friends in high school got killed, and the murders were never solved. Then the murderer comes and kills her mom, and then her friend builds a time machine, and she has to go back in time and try to like stop the killer. And then right at the beginning, they're making fun of the true crime, because like it starts out with this guy who has like a true crime podcast, and he's like showing these guys around like, oh, this is where this happened, this is where that happened. I was like, oh, making fun of a true crime already, because like it's a big thing nowadays. The mom gets a text message from this guy called Chris. And I just put having an affair ? The mom and dad seem to be like relatively happy, I guess, but like, and then so this is when the mom's dying or getting chased around, and I just put mom as Laurie Strode from Halloween 2018, because like she's like kicking ass, Because I guess because her friends died, she was like training in case the killer ever came back.
Just in case Michael Myers ever came back.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, because like I know she lays a bunch of traps in the 2018 one, so like she's like prepared. And then I put never mind because she dies anyway.
Just like in Halloween.
Exactly. Like even all that crazy badass shit. So the friend builds the time machine. And this is where we get Michael, like one of the first Michael Myers ripped off, because like she's walking down the street, and then this truck goes by, and next thing you know, you can see the killer off in the distance, just kind of staring at her, and also, and it looked just like that fucking thing in 28 Halloween. And then I put just because you say you're ripping off Back to the Future doesn't make it still not a rip off, because like they reference it multiple times. Because when she goes back in time, she's telling the cops because she's trying to stop the murder. She's like, oh, there's gonna be a murder, and they're like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, have you seen Back to the Future? Randall Park's in it. He's one of the cops. He's like, no, I hate time travel movies. It's like it's supposed to be a joke. And she's like, well, I'm living it, and there's going to be a murder, and you should just go stop it. And of course I don't believe her. But I just think it's funny because they reference it multiple times, and I'm like, just because you keep ripping it off doesn't make it funny.
Yeah, I know.
But like the movie was good, don't get me wrong. I put this note that I didn't think we'd be going back to the present too, because like it kept going back and forth from like the changes she was making in the past to her friends in the future trying to help her get back home, and I thought it was really cool because like
that's like a cool concept.
I just thought it was going to be her and because like they did that thing where like the people in the future remembering it differently because she changed something in the past, which is pretty cool. The dad makes it a point to say that like, oh yeah, me and your mom didn't get together in high school because we wouldn't have worked out, and that's why I put this bitch is stupid. Everyone knows you don't talk about the future in the past because she kind of lets it slip, and then that's when her mom's like, oh, maybe I should go try and hook up with him. And she's like, no, stop, don't fucking do that. I told you not to do that. And like I just think it's really stupid because like she keeps saying shit about the future, and I'm like, stop, because Achievement does another Back to the Future. She's like, if I make it to where my parents don't hook up, will I not be born? And that's when the chick's like, no, you'd still be born. You just nobody would remember you in the future. And then that's what I put. I like the writing a lot because it's very. Since she's going back to the 80s and she's from this generation, a lot of people said the movie was woke, but like. It's the joke is never that she's woke. The joke is always the response they get. Like she'll say something like you can't do that. Like and they're like, why not? Like because like it's normal to them because they're living in the 80s. But like to her, the funny part is always their response to it because it's like they're like, why not? Like I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So I think that's the funny part about the writing. That's why I wrote down like the writing was really clever and smart. And then I love the use of like they have like the sets of the future and the past because the third act takes place in this theme park.
Yeah.
And like in the past it's bustling because the murder hasn't happened yet, but in the future it's all run down because like it got shut down after the murders. And then the final act takes place in this gravitron because that's what she uses to make the time machine in the past. And I just put I want a gravitron because those machines that spin around and like it pins you to the wall.
Oh yeah.
And it looked really fun because I've never rode one, but they looked fun before.
I mean, they're always at the state fair, but I don't know if I trust them.
That's fair. I don't want to die.
I feel like I've been on one of those before.
Really, not bad. But anyway, it's a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot. It's like I said, it's basically just Back to the Future, but with a slasher, with a lot of smart, funny writing. I like that a lot. I'd probably give it like a 7. It was a little better.
Okay.
It knew what it was, and it didn't take itself too seriously. And it had fun.
You said John Krasinski was in it?
Yeah.
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 Yes,
I did.
Solid office joke that I immediately got.
Yeah.
Took me back.
Before you go into your third movie, does anybody else want to talk about a movie?
Yeah, because I'm
James?
getting talking.
Yeah, so I watched 2 movies in the last little bit of time as well. The first one I watched was Late Night with the Devil. I knew you guys saw it, and I didn't get to see it, and I decided to give it a shot, so I took a week of Shudder out. Been watching it, so I watched a couple horror movies like Kyle. First one, like I said, Late Night with the Devil. I fucking loved it. Thought it was great. There's 8 million production companies that had to do with the movie. Had a shitload of title cards, or not title cards, but like a beginning, like you just didn't know when the fucking movie was gonna start.
Yeah.
So the premise of it is late night talk show in the 70s. This dude, he's second place, and he keeps trying to beat what's that guy's name?
Carson.
Johnny Carson.
Delroy. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's his name.
And then his name's Jack Delroy. Yeah. He's like just a stereotypical late night host. Basically, the premise of the movie is that he's trying to catch up with ratings, and it goes through like all his different little skits he does like on his late night show, and it's talking about how he's successful and he's a part of like basically a cult. It's essentially Bohemian Grove, which is like a
'Cause in the movie, they just call it the Grove.
They call it the Grove, but it's Bohemian Grove, which is where like a bunch of rich, white, powerful dudes
Go
who have to do with
what
politics.
rich, white, powerful motherfuckers do.
Yeah,
which
it's like
is-
some real weird
yeah.
shit. Like they go do like
Definitely.
culty stuff and rituals, and it's a real thing too. Bohemian Grove is very real, which is scary.
But like, we don't know if they actually do like rituals and shit.
I think
But,
they do like ritualistic things, like like the skull and bones and all that shit.
right, but like I think
But,
it's
like,
mostly just for orgies.
It's probably a bunch of like hoopla,
Yeah.
really, but it's still like unsettling.
And it's like mysterious because no one actually knows what they do there.
Yeah. It's definitely like unsettling to me. That's a real thing. But anyway, it all takes place essentially like around like one night. He has like one shot, and they kind of do some world building too. Like they show like he had a wife, and she dies, and she dies of cancer, and it's very sudden. Like they mentioned, she dies of lung cancer,
And she was a non-smoker.
and she was
so,
a
like, it's weird.
non-smoker, so it's weird. It's all centers around this one night that he has, basically like his last Hail Mary to get good ratings, to keep on air, because they talk about how his contract's getting ready to run out.
And it's
with-
sweeps week. It's like the last chance to bump his ratings
Bump
up.
his ratings, yeah. So they're doing like this big Halloween episode, and he has a bunch of different guests. He has, can't remember their names except for one. One of them's name is Crystal.
Christy, yeah, he's
Yeah.
the medium.
He's a medium, and then there's a guy who's a skeptic, and then there is
Which he's based on like a real guy who was really good at debunking stuff.
because he was like a former magician or whatever, or he's a
Yeah.
magician too, so he knows how to like do a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
And then there's
because I know they make a good joke about the Warrens, but he's like, "Oh, the Warrens didn't come with me,"
Yeah.
and that was just funny.
and then there's an
Making fun of
author
those people.
who is taking care of a girl who has been allegedly possessed at the time, allegedly.
Yeah.
So you just kind of go through, like, the medium comes out, and they do the normal bullshit that mediums do, where he, like, just starts picking at straws until he finds somebody to answer his questions. They go through that. It's actually pretty funny, because there's, like, one dude who, like, talks about his ex-wife. and
he's
it's,
like
a big
he's
joke.
like funnier than he is.
Yeah, it's like a big wink wink to the crowd. And then he gets on with these two women who have, like, it's a mother and a daughter, and like daughter's brother has died, and he gets them to like talk about their dead brother. So it's like this whole thing, like, oh my god, he's giving these people closure on the dead
Yeah.
son, whatever. And then at the end though, like this crazy shit happens where he like starts to really feel something, and the lights start flickering. There's like this big thing the whole movie where like there's like electricity involved a lot, like the lights flashing.
Yeah.
Later there's like fucking like electricity, like legit static like going through. But his eyes like turn back in the back of his head, and he's like freaking out, and he's saying like, I see a vision of a man who's not married wearing a wedding ring. And then he says Minnie, I think. He says the word Minnie. He's like, does that have any significance? Someone please answer me. And like nobody says anything, and like his eyes roll into the back of his head. They like, I think they cut to commercial, or he like fucking freaks out, and then it's
Right,
over.
really, like, passes
Cuts
out
to
or
commercial, and then like throughout the whole thing, like it's showing like the actual talk show, and it's also showing like parts of like backstage where it's like filmed backstage, and it talks about like he goes and talks to like the producer of the show. And he asks the producer, like, if he messed with the lights. And, like, it kind of, like, gives you, like, subtle hints throughout the movie that something weird is happening. Because he's like, well, I'll take credit for it, if you liked it or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right. But no one actually knows what's.
But
like,
nobody knows what's
causing it.
going on. And then they go back to the show, and the skeptic comes out, and he's doing his little magic tricks, like, showing that he knows how to do all this bullshit. And he talks about how all he does is, like, debunk paranormal things, and he has this check for $100,000 that he's going to give out if he can find somebody who can actually prove that there is, like, existence of the paranormal.
Right.
Then we go through, and he kind of goes off with Christou, and they have a little bit of like back and forth, and you can tell Christou is like really fucked up,
Yeah.
like something actually did happen, and they're arguing with each other, and then Christou tries to leave, and then he gets sick and like throws up black bile all over Jack Delroy and the skeptic. They rush him to the hospital, or like they take him off stage, and then they cut to commercial, and while they're cutting to commercial, you hear an ambulance in the background where they're taking him to the hospital.
Right.
And then you
Yeah.
also find out that there was a lady in the lobby that was asking questions to people, and that she has specifically talked to the couple, like the
Yeah.
daughter and the mother.
Right.
And that's how he knew what to say, because they mentioned that. And there's also, like, I want to mention, because he comes up later, and I know he comes up in bits and pieces here and there too. This is a dude named Gus. He's like the sidekick to Jack
Yeah.
Delroy.
He's like Andy Richter.
He's
for Conan.
Andy Richter
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
For sure.
And it's fucking he's awesome. Like, he's probably my favorite character in the movie because he's just trying to do his job.
He's trying to do his job and go
And he
home.
starts talking to Jack about how like he doesn't like the things that are going on.
Yeah,
like,
'cause he-
he thinks
I remember they
something
talked about
weird's
earlier how he's like a big Christian. And
Yeah.
But he's not liking all this demonic shit.
Because then they bring on, I think her last name, is it like Jordan? Like Dr. Jordan, maybe? I really can't remember.
I'm not sure.
But they bring out this doctor, and she has this child with her.
I remember
who's
the
been
girl's name is
possessed.
Lily, though.
Yes. The girl named Lily. And they show like she's a part of like this cult, and it's like a little video that the cult had taken where it's like showing like their culty shit that they do. And like the rituals essentially,
Right.
and how like she's supposed to be sacrificed, and like she's literally just bred to be sacrificed. It's like a whole
Which was
thing.
fucked up, yeah.
And then the house burns down though, and they save this girl, and she's in like a psych ward because she's fucking possessed. And then the doctor starts talking with her. She becomes her primary caregiver, and then she's basically just exploiting this girl really
Yeah.
to write a book. Like that's the take I got, especially
Pretty
a little later.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell she kind of cares for it too, but like it's
Yeah.
still exploitation.
It's
Regardless.
still
Yeah,
exploitation.
like she definitely wants like a little bit what's best for the kid, but like no, she's just in it for the money.
Well, I mean,
And
so-
Jack Delroy's penis.
And Jack Delroy's penis.
And then
Because it turns out they've been fucking.
I love the little girl actress though. She's fucking good.
Really like
Because she's
the best
immediately
part.
unsettling. Like when she
Yeah.
comes out there,
Yeah.
like the way she talks to Jack, the way she's like looking at the cameras, it's all really weird. They cut to commercial, I believe, because they talk a little bit at first, and then they cut to commercial, and you find out at some point, I can't remember exactly when, but you find out that Christu, the medium, dies. He dies getting rushed to the ambulance, or getting rushed to the hospital. He doesn't get there, and also this takes place in New York City.
The traffic be bad.
The traffic is bad.
Traffic do be bad.
So he dies. Christu dies.
And then they're like, don't tell Gus.
Don't tell Gus. And then right before they cut to commercial, he asks if they can like try to talk to the demon that she's possessed by. And like they don't want to. The doctor doesn't want to do it, but he asks her on air because they have a conversation during another commercial break. I can't remember exactly how it works out, but they have another conversation where he asks her if she'll do it, and she says no. But then he asks her on air, so he kind of forces her to say yes.
Right, tricks her.
So on commercial, whenever they come back, like they strap her down in the chair. The skeptic guy is like talking about like how this is all bullshit, blah blah. Which like I totally understand because I feel like if I was a skeptic guy, at least at this point, I'd be like, this is also just bullshit.
Yeah.
Like this is just like some fucking weird girl, and you're making this shit up. Then they strap the girl down, and then they summon the demon. I can't remember the name of the demon. This girl very much reminds me of Reagan from The Exorcist,
Yeah,
though.
because she calls the demon Mr. Wriggles.
Mr. Wriggles, because it wriggles into her head sometimes and
Right,
it wriggles
yeah.
out.
But I don't know if it
Yeah.
actually had a name or not.
It does have a name. I just can't remember the name of it.
Right.
And
Because
but
I think that's the direct parallel too. Because I can't remember what Reagan calls the demon inside her, but
the demon is Pazuzu, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I know she calls it something else because it's like it's supposed to be like a direct parallel. So like it's because she comes up with something like that, it wriggles in and out, kind of like that. I thought that was pretty good too.
They strap her down. They summon the demon, and then like you can immediately tell this is not bullshit
Yeah. Right.
because
yeah.
like her face is fucking different. I think her eye color changes too.
Yeah, she also
Yeah.
like scars on her face.
And she has like
too.
scars on her
Yeah.
face all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like really fucking wild. And then she starts talking about how like she's met Jack before,
Yeah.
because like the whole time Lily's like kind of like weird towards Jack,
Yeah.
and she's like, we've met before, and he's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? And you
Yeah.
don't really immediately find out. And then there's also
She
like
says we met amongst the tall
amongst the
trees.
tall trees, yeah, and which goes back to him being a part of that fucking cult, the
Right.
Grove. She starts talking all kinds of shit, and at first the demon is kind of like freaked out, like where the fuck am I? Like why? Or who are all these people? It's like this whole thing, but then it kind of like realizes what's going on, so it's like, well, fuck yeah. And then it starts talking shit to Jack, and then she starts talking shit to the doctor about how the doctor and Jack are fucking, and that's whenever the doctor gets mad, and that's whenever I think like. You see the doctor and the girl's real relationship because she like slaps the shit out of that fucking
Yeah.
girl.
Because like she's like we want Lily back, and the demon just keeps fucking with her.
And she slaps the shit out of that girl.
Yeah.
And then there's like the fucking demon like fucking levitates and there's electricity and shit and it's all crazy. I can't remember how she gets her to snap out of it, but the girl
I think it's just that the slap that does it.
the girl snaps out of it. Then they go to another commercial and they're like, what the fuck? And Gus is like begging for this shit to be over.
Yeah.
And they won't finish it. They won't end it. They come back from commercial, and the skeptic guy is like, I can prove how they did this. So he goes out and he gets Gus, and they sit down exactly where the other two do, and he fucking hypnotizes Gus, right? Like, he shows him a watch, and he hypnotizes
Yeah.
Gus, and it turns out he hypnotizes the whole audience, but we'll get there. He starts talking to Gus. At first, it's pretty cool. This is like a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
Because he's talking to Gus, and he's just kind of like asking Gus, like, what's up and all this. And they're just having a normal conversation, and Gus is like, oh, it's hot in here, and he takes his jacket off. And then the skeptic guy's like, oh, what's that on your neck? And then it's like, oh, no. He talks to him about how he's afraid of fucking worms. Talks to him about how he's afraid of worms.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, and then like after that, he takes off the jacket, and then he says like, what's that on your neck? And he's like, oh, I think I cut myself shaving. Then there's fucking like worms coming out of his neck.
Yeah.
And then there's like worms like all over him. And then he like rips his fucking stomach open, and there's worms coming out of him. And then like a giant worm like busts through his eye. And I really like this part too because they did like
good practical effects.
They did practical effects, but they also did it. In my opinion, they did it to where it looks like old practical effects.
Yeah.
Though. Like, because the eyeball looked kind of shitty, like, when it popped out of him and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
But it looked like, you know, like a fucking, like, 80s B-movie with practical effects. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then, this like, it's like all this shit, and everybody's going crazy because, like, all the people see it, too, because you find out they're all hypnotized, like most of them do, and everybody's, like, freaking out, like, what the fuck? And then he snaps his fingers, or whatever he has to do, and then Gus is fine. And everybody's fine. And then it
He's
cuts.
like, why do I have my shirt off?
Why do I have my
what
shirt
happened?
And then it goes back and they replay the footage and it shows where Gus like he's hypnotized and he's like telling him all this stuff.
Yeah, the skeptic's like walking him through like, oh, first you're gonna do this and you can do this and then now there's worms everywhere.
And then they do like a little poll and like everybody has been hypnotized or almost all of them were.
He's like, yeah, raise your hand if you guys saw it too. Like most of the audience was like, oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. And then Jack Delroy, he saw it, and I think Lily and the doctor also see it. I know the doctor does.
Right.
And Lily pretends like she did at least.
Yeah.
So this is him like saying like, you know, this is why that was total bullshit. Like you hypnotized people too. And she's like, no, I didn't. You literally saw her fucking levitate. Blah blah blah. Like how do you fake that? Blah blah blah.
And they basically say, check the cameras.
And then
play that back.
And then Lily's like, well, okay, so since you played yours back and we saw that yours was bullshit, if we play mine back, will it be bullshit? And then they start playing it back, and it's like showing this stuff. And I kind of didn't like this scene because I thought it was kind of dumb. But like they're playing back where, and you see a flash, and it's like something in the back of Lily's head. It's like something's on the back of Lily's head.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they're going to focus in on. But then whenever they do frame by frame, it shows like Jack Delroy's like whole ass dead wife like behind him, like touching his shoulder. But then it's kind of cool because it cuts to Jack just sitting there and there's still a hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, he's like freaking.
That part was cool.
That was cool.
But the fucking way she looks in the thing, she literally to me looks like a Force Ghost.
Yeah, it looks not
and it
great.
looks dumb. Like she looks like a CGI Force Ghost from whenever George Lucas redid fucking Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
like that's how it fucking looked. And I was like, that's dumb. Up until then, like I had nothing really against this movie,
right.
and that's like one nitpicky thing.
Yeah,
honestly. And then like
I've heard throughout the whole movie you can see her in random shots.
I have to. I just haven't.
And I want to go. Like even the second time I rewatched it, I still haven't seen.
Apparently, you can like see her in a mirror and shit at one point.
That's cool.
And then also like there's times where Lily's talking and she sounds like his dead wife.
Yeah, which I didn't pick up on that on either watch, which is cool too. But I've heard it from other people talk about it on podcasts.
Yeah,
so
me too.
It's cool.
And then like I'm pretty sure at this point shit just hits the fucking fan.
Yeah.
Like because
real weird, real fast.
Real cool.
Yeah, it's like it gets fucking nuts. Like Reagan like fucking like becomes the demon again and is like her head like splits in half and there's like electricity everywhere. And then she fucking like breaks Gus's neck.
Poor guy, I felt so bad for Gus.
Gus just wanted to have because he starts doing like the power of Christ compels you, and she just kills that motherfucker.
She said, "Oh really? Watch this." Fucking snaps his neck completely like 180.
Does it compel your neck bone?
And that was a good practical effect too with the neck.
Yeah,
neck snap. Because I was like, oh god.
And then she chokes out the doctor and kills her. Like she
chokes her by the rosary she's wearing.
Yeah,
like,
by the rosary and like cuts through her and kills her. And then it's funny because the skeptic dude is like, oh my god, this shit's really happening. And he pulls out the check because he had rewritten it for $500,000.
Yeah.
And he pulls out the check and he's trying to give it to the demon. The demon fucking like melts him.
Yeah.
And then everybody's trying to get out and the producer guy comes out and gets Jack Delroy and they run back and then the movie gets fucking weird. Like honestly,
yeah.
I've thought more about the ending. I didn't hate it, but I know I told you it lost me.
Right.
Because it gets fucking weird. Because it like replays like all the shit that he did, and then it goes to like where he did some kind of ceremony at the Grove, and he had to like basically give up something to become successful.
Right.
And then he had to sacrifice someone, but he doesn't know who it's gonna be.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah. And then like basically it just alludes to that he sacrificed his wife, and that's why she dies.
Rip.
And then at the end, like he goes into like a room where she's sick because he like sees his wife, and she's talking to her, and she's like dying, but she wants him to kill her, and she's like, you have to kill me, like you have to finish this. And then this whole time there's been like this fucking like dagger on the set, and it's like a ritualistic dagger, and he takes the dagger and he stabs his wife, and then it cuts back to where he's on set again.
Because the wife's like, please kill me.
Please
He
kill me.
has
You
to
know
kill
what you
me.
have to do. You have to kill me. Put me out of my misery. And then it cuts back to him being on the stage, and he killed the girl. He killed Lily with the dagger.
Yeah.
And then he gets up, and he like kind of walks out, and then the movie ends.
And he has become the biggest late night whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, you know,
It's like he got what he wanted.
what did it cost you?
Exactly.
Everything.
My wife.
I think it was very good. I would definitely recommend it to people that like horror movies.
Because before anything, that was like my most anticipated horror movie before we saw anything this year. Was like, because I heard about it even like at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh, it definitely looked good. And then it definitely lived up to it, in my opinion. I agree.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
I give it like a 7.5. I still think the ending's kind of murky.
Yeah, I agree.
I just think they didn't really know how to end it.
Yeah.
But I think like, up until like that last like 15 minutes, it was fucking great. But I give it a 7.5. I would, like I said, I probably bumped it up to about an 8, 8.5 if I wouldn't have lost the plot so much at the end. And I feel like they lost the plot. I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
we all did.
But yeah, it was a good movie. What did you rate it, Kyle?
That's what I was looking for. I don't see where I rated it. Interesting. I thought I did.
All right, Dylan, you wanna?
Oh yeah, I gave it 4. I gave it 4 stars. So probably about an 8.
Yeah.
On a 10 scale.
So that's
Yeah,
about the
probably
same.
the same thing for me.
I did like it a lot, but it definitely did have some problems.
I'm gonna go with the movie I watched first. I watched Bad Boys 4: Ride or Die.
Did you ride or die?
I wish I would have died. I'm scared.
Yeah, I mean, that's me every day though.
I've never seen the first 2. I've only saw all 3 and 4. I ate a glizzy and a actual popcorn for it. So here are my notes. I'm just gonna read through the notes. I'm not really gonna like stop and detail anything
Right.
because it's just the same fucking movie, but just the 4th installment.
Right. Like they are bad boys, but
Yeah,
they're cops.
They're bad boys, but they're cops. But you know, so I don't refer to their characters either. I just only call them by the actor name.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith.
Yeah, and whenever I
It's
talk
just
about the both of them together, I just call them the boys because they're bad. They're the bad boys.
The bad boys.
Yeah. So boys are late, and Smith is speeding. Martin gets held up at gunpoint trying to get a glizzy because they stop and they go into a gas station.
Not for the glizzy.
Yeah, and Smith is like, "You got like 15 seconds to get in and get back into this car." And then
And he said, "Okay, I'm gonna get a glizzy then."
so Martin gets held up at gunpoint. Smith busts in, shoots the thug in the thigh. They make it to the wedding on time. Smith gets married. There's a dance scene, and then Martin heart logs off. He has a heart attack. That's what I wrote. I put heart logs off.
Go ahead and log off for me.
So he has a heart attack, and then
I just hear like the windows.
So, but Martin sees the old captain in his cardiac dream, which is his heart attack dream.
Right.
The old captain died at the end of the 3rd one. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the 3rd one.
Yeah.
But I've only watched the 3rd and 4th one, so. He doesn't die. Goes to the roof of the hospital and just stands on the ledge and feels alive while his butt cheeks are out.
It feels alive.
That sounds nice.
And Smith is like, "Hey,
that must
buddy."
be nice.
Smith is like, "Hey, buddy, your ass cheeks are hanging out."
Did I do that?
And then it pans to the villain and some random dude. He gets some random dude to transfer money in the name of the dead captain. The villain kills dude and his bodyguard and the dude's GF.
I thought you were gonna say the name of justice.
And Smith has a dream that shows some scenes from the last movie. Dead captain gets framed for being a dirty cop. Smith talks to his son in prison. like I was just kind of just writing down big moments at this point.
Right. Which is probably a good way to take notes. I should probably do that.
The boys received a video from dead captain warning them about there being rats, not actual animals, but like, crooked cops. Martin walks through traffic claiming he can't die because he didn't die from the heart attack.
Buddy, you don't want to get too cocky about that.
Yeah, which he suffered from getting a 15-second hot dog, and he literally danced the night away because he almost died. Boys talk to a tall dude. I didn't write his name down. He didn't last long enough for me to care about his name. He gives them clues how they can clear the dead captain, and then the villain snipes the tall guy.
Snipes?
Yeah, he snipes his motherfucking ass.
Word.
Like his head explodes.
Got him.
Yeah, that's why I didn't write the dude's name down.
Sounds like he was only there for like a little bit.
Yeah, he was only there for plot progression.
Sometimes you need just a random character for
Yeah.
an exposition.
Cheer, everybody going down.
And then a shootout ensues in the tall guy's art club. And then it gives Martin a sugar rush or some shit because like they're shooting drinks and shit, and it's like pouring punch on his face. He's getting like he had a heart attack, so he can't eat candy or anything that would give him
another heart attack.
another heart attack. So he's just getting a fucking sugar rush from all this punch going everywhere.
And has a second heart attack.
And then
That would be crazy.
That would be like, oh damn.
And then the villain's people are tracking the boys. Smith has a panic attack and almost gets ran over by the villain because they're in the freeway. He's trying to shoot at him and he just chokes up, which we've been there. We've all choked up in the heat of passion.
It's true.
Then Vanessa
choke up all
Hudgens.
the
I
time.
wrote Vanessa Hudgens. I didn't know that was actually her in the movie. It looked like her, and I was like, that looks like Vanessa Hudgens. So I wrote her name down. It turns out it actually was.
Makes sense to
Nice.
me.
Vanessa Hudgens finds the clue in the art club to another video from Dead Captain. Inmates try to kill Smith's prison son. Pretty cool prison fight breaks out where like he just takes like the prison workout equipment and just beats the shit out of everybody with some free weights.
Prison son is an awesome way to call his son in prison.
I forgot what his name was.
Prison son. Okay.
Smith gets his prison son transported to a different prison.
Different prison, son. Not a different son in prison. A different prison the son is in.
Yeah. The villain hijacks the plane, uses the boys' guns to kill everyone. Villain escapes the plane while it crashes. Boys get prison son to land the plane, says he's a drug dealer so he knows how to fly a plane. That was his actual quote. Because Martin is like, you know how to fly a plane? He goes, I'm a drug dealer. Of course I know how to drive a plane. And,
I don't know if that's how that works.
I don't think
Yeah.
those two things correlate.
Yeah, I don't know if like maybe they teach you how to fly a plane in drug dealing lessons. I don't know.
Is that a day I skipped in drug dealing school?
You don't want to skip plane landing days. Crash lands the plane in a lake, so he didn't know how to land
I
it.
guess not. Hey, John McClane Tommy. Taking off's not the hard part. It's landing.
The boys in prison son are now fugitives.
Damn it, prison son.
The villain puts a bounty on them, as well as the FBI. The FBI puts a bounty on them as well. Not
They don't put the bounty on the FBI.
Right. I'm with you.
The three steal a truck from a racist trailer park. That was also in the trailer.
Oh yeah. So were they able to get a Reba song?
No, they never guessed.
Did they buy that was off her mixtape?
No. Prison son just stole the truck and picked him up in it. And then they meet up with Tiffany Haddish. She very quickly rats them out. A shootout happens. Why is DJ Khaled here?
Oh what?
He just shows up.
What the fuck?
The vans the boy escape in catches fire.
That'll happen.
Small car chase. Van blows up, but the boys escape before it explodes. Prison son was shown files to identify the villain. Prison son identifies the villain.
Word. Okay.
Villain sent people to kill Martin's family. Martin calls Reggie, and Reggie goes on a fucking rampage.
Fuck yeah, he's like a soldier, right?
Yeah, he's like in the Marines or something like that. He goes on a fucking rampage and kills like 15 people. It was pretty cool.
Go Reggie.
Villain kidnaps Smith's wife, Rita, which was like his love interest from like one of the first three. I don't know. Rita's wannabe mayor boyfriend has been in the villain's plan the entire time. Has been in on the villain's plan the whole time. The boys use a
So
voice
what do you
changer.
mean want to be mayor? Is he like?
Oh,
is that
he's
like a
running. He's
subplot?
running for mayor.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
Yeah,
a
want-
mayor.
He's not elected the mayor.
He
He just
wants
wants
to
to
be
be
mayor.
the mayor.
right. Fair enough.
I just refer to him as wannabe mayor the rest of this.
Understandable. Continue.
The boys use a voice changer to sound like wannabe mayor boy to trick the villain.
Wanna be now he's a boy.
But he's not a bad boy.
Yeah.
Smith had multiple clear shots to snipe the villain, but has a panic attack and pusses out.
So yeah, is that a thing? Does he just have a panic attack?
Yeah, he's just fucking choking up the whole time.
Fuck, we got heart attacks and panic attacks. Maybe these
Yeah.
boys should retire.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody wants.
Do we need
But
another?
now they're fugitives.
Yeah.
They pretty much flip roles. Like, where Smith has been the badass for like the three previous films, he's now the wuss. And
Right.
Martin's the badass.
Who'd have thought? Not me.
Doesn't last very long. Villain realizes it was a setup. Pretty cool shootout happens. A lot of shootouts in this fucking movie. Smith is having another panic attack. Martin slaps him as if he was Chris Rock. Smith is a badass again. Villain gets away with a grenade. Martin gets attacked by an alligator, which was fucking random. But I guess it makes sense because they are set in Miami.
Right.
The boys beat up an alligator. They literally beat up the alligator that attacked them.
Impressive.
They get out of the water. They chase after Villain. Wannabe mayor tries to get in a small plane, and the pilot said, "Nah, here's for your troubles," and crashes it. Wannabe mayor gets killed by an alligator after his now ex-girlfriend tells him to go fuck himself. Same alligator that the boys beat up. I guess they only had budget for one alligator.
Right.
Martin gets captured by the villain. Villain makes Smith choose between his wife and Martin. Smith shoots Martin in the bulletproof vest. Smith absolutely obliterates the villain. I mean, like, he just, like, shoots the shit out of him. Like, he just keeps fucking shooting him. Dead Captain's daughter lets Smith's prison son escape on the slowest and smallest boat imaginable. Like, this dude cranks this fucking boat, and it takes for fucking ever just to move 30 seconds. I was just like, dude, this is a terrible getaway boat.
Hey man, you take what you can get.
Yeah.
You take what you can get around here.
Prison Son seems crazy.
Everyone loves Martin and Smith again, except for probably Chris Rock. I put in parentheses.
Makes total sense to me.
The boys are at a park grilling. Reggie finally gets the respect he deserves. Movie ends.
Well, do you recommend?
I mean, if you've watched the first three.
Yeah, but don't watch this one by itself.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I did.
Fair enough. But you saw three at least. So like.
Yeah, I at least saw the third one. It just really depends on how much you like Chris Rock. Or, it really
how much
depends
you
on
don't like Chris Rock?
You don't like Chris Rock and like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith.
Wow, dude.
I saw the first two Bad Boys. I haven't seen 3 or 4. I liked the first two.
It was a fun movie. I'm gonna just give it a 5.
Okay.
It was a fun action movie, but like,
yeah, just like middle of the road.
would I ever see it again? Probably not.
Right.
Unless I did like a Bad Boys marathon, which probably not gonna do.
Why would you?
You guys want me to power through this? My other one.
If you want to, I guess.
Okay.
We're already here.
The other movie I watched this week is a hidden Jack Black movie from 2008. It's called Be Kind, Rewind. It also stars Danny Glover and Mos Def, which is now his name is Yasin Bey. But I didn't know that at the time of me writing the notes, so I
Yeah.
only refer to him as Mos Def.
Because like I've seen him in other songs, and I never knew that was Mos Def. I just thought it was a new guy.
Yeah, I don't really refer to the characters' names because I forget, but I do remember Jack
Seems
Black's
to be a
name.
trend.
Jack Black's name was Jerry in this movie.
Oh,
But
he's Jerry.
And Mos Def's name was Mike, but just for my purpose of not getting their shit mixed up, I just wrote their actor name.
Understandable.
It opens up with Danny Glover and Mos Def runs a beat-down VHS rental shop, and the city wants to shut it down and make it a new apartment place and move them into the projects. Danny Glover goes on a trip to play jazz records in honor of the 60th death anniversary of the jazz musician that owned the rental shop they're working in. Danny leaves Mos Def in charge and tells him to keep Jerry out, which is Jack Black's character. Jack Black tries to break into a power plant and gets electrocuted, which was actually pretty fucking funny. Jack Black got too close to the movies after getting shocked, which erases the movies on the tape. And so he ends up touching like all the fucking VHSs in the shop, and he deletes every single movie that's in there.
That's a shame.
And 2 customers come in and complain about the movie tapes just not working. Mos Def and Jack find out that Jack has been magnified from breaking into a power plant, and that's what erased the movies from the tapes. The customer comes in and returns the movie. She comes back, I just didn't write her name, and wants to rent Ghostbusters, and Jack and Mos Def tries to convince her not to rent it. She says she'll be back at 7 p.m. to rent that movie. Mos Def tries to find a VHS copy of Ghostbusters while Jack Black goes to see a doctor.
This movie sounds fucking ridiculous.
It's actually pretty fucking good. Mos Def can't find a copy, so he convinces Jack to play Bill Murray's character, and Mos Def will be the other characters while they film it. Funny montage of them filming Ghostbusters in a library. Montage continues filming Ghostbusters in different places. Oh, I wrote how they film a night scene in the daylight is hilarious because Jack Black's like, hey man, there's a button on this camcorder that says negative. And then it turns out, you guys have seen a negative filter before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, but how are we going to see our faces? And he was just like, I got an idea. So they go to a printer and they just scan their fucking faces And then Jack Black is like, "Oh, you want to close your eyes?" He's like, "Oh, you want to tell me that after it already scanned my face?" And then so they just cut out where they scanned their face on the copier, and they just wear their fucking face over their actual face. So it just because like it copied it negatively, I guess. I don't know, but it was fucking hilarious. They're just wearing it while they're filming a night scene in the day. Mos Def gives the lady from earlier the movie. A bald customer comes in and wants Rush Hour 2, but they tell him to come back tomorrow, and then someone's car catches fire. The boys start to film Rush Hour 2. They use the mechanic to film a kissing scene. Jack doesn't want to do it. The mechanic quits, and they get a random girl from the cleaner store to play the kissing scene. Jack takes a whole bottle of aspirin. Kissing girl makes him drink salt water. Then he throws up and pisses in the street and pisses out his magnetized shit. Bald dude comes back for Rush Hour 2. Old lady from earlier gives Ghostbusters to her nephew and his friends, and they come back to the shop to rent more movies. The boys and Kissing Girl gives the group of dudes a choice of 2 movies, and they choose RoboCop and The Lion King, and the dude from The Blind Side chose Lion King. I just thought it was funny that the dude from The Blind Side was in it.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean the dude from The Blind Side?
The guy that plays the main character in The Blind Side.
Oh, he's in this?
Yeah, he's just randomly in this fucking movie.
That is pretty awesome, actually. Small world.
Yeah. They told him to come back the next day at 4 to pick up both movies. They film RoboCop and Lion King, but they do it in front of like this giant sheet, and then they're just like holding other sheets of just lions to be the lion.
Like the background lions?
Yeah. the girl is doing the voiceovers for both lions. And he was just like, "Say I'm gonna like kill you and piss on your grave," and he was like, "This is a kids movie, man."
That's awesome.
And the old lady wants them to Swede the film, which is what they're calling it. They're calling it, all these films have been sent from Sweden, so we're Sweden these films. She wants them to do Driving Miss Daisy. Mos Def definitely does not want to do that movie. He complains about it, and he gets mad about it.
Why doesn't he want to do that movie?
Because I think it's like a racist movie, I think.
Oh, really?
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Montage of them filming different movies ensues. I didn't write any of them down because I didn't want to. And Danny Glover tells the city lady that he's going to start trying to sell DVDs, and she tells him that's not going to happen unless he makes renovations to the store to get it up to code in 6 weeks to at least get the roof fixed. Danny Glover shows back up at the shop, and there's a line out the door, and the boys explain what's been going on. Danny was pretty butthurt at what they were doing and tells them that they'll be switching to DVDs at the end of the year. Kissing Girl has an idea of shortening the length of the films so they can film more movies and they can add the customers to the movies so they won't feel cheated. Another montage of more movies being filmed, and several movie names appear on the screen. The only one I remember is like 7, which I'm like, that's funny.
Right.
But it was like a whole bunch of like list of movies. Lawyers show up and tell them that they owe the studios a bunch of money and could face jail time. Jack Black tells them since they deleted the FBI warning doesn't count because they deleted it all.
I'm not
They
sure
tell
that's how
him
that works.
Yeah, no, but I respect it.
The lawyers tell him to pretty much get fucked, and they destroy all of the tapes that they have made. Mos Def tells Danny G that they can file paperwork to save the building, claiming it's a historical landmark, but Danny tells them that they can't because there's no actual proof that the famous jazz musician actually lived there. The whole town is sad as the movies get destroyed. Pans to the next day, Jack and the town chant, "Make more movies, make more movies." And convince Mos Def to make an original movie. Mos Def convinces Danny Glover
Shout out Childish Gambino.
to make an original movie about the jazz musician Fats Waller. Finally remembered to write the name down.
Too long enough.
Danny is on board. Montage of the whole town filming the movie ensues. They finally finished the movie. Wholesome scene of everyone watching the movie together in the shop. They walk out of the shop to see the entire town watching the movie together. Movie ends very happily. I put notes may be lacking near the end because I was also setting up everything for the podcast.
That's fair.
And then I put my favorite quote of the whole movie was the old lady that they sell Ghostbusters to originally. Quote is, "Our past belongs to us. We can change it if we want."
Solid.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That movie I highly recommend, and I would probably give that one probably like an 8 out of 10. It was a really good fucking movie. Way better than I expected.
It sounds pretty fucking good. Like, it sounds really dumb. but
Yeah.
like not in a bad way.
Honestly, it's kind of an underrated Jack Black film.
I've like heard of it before. I honestly thought that it was like gonna be like a fucking like romantic comedy or some bullshit. I don't know why that's where my mind went. I did because I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, like I back when Community Video was still in town, I would go there while my mom would tan, and I would just pick up the DVD box for it all the time and just read the back of it, and I'm like, I might get this one, and then mom would be like, oh, you can get you a movie. And I would never pick that one. I would always go with one I had seen before.
Right, I hear you.
So we juiced some movies. Sorry we didn't get to your third one.
Nah, that's cool.
Well, yeah, we're kind of
Save for another time.
Yeah. Sorry we didn't get to Donnie Darko either.
It's okay.
I really do want to watch Donnie Darko, so maybe save that one.
Same, man. 'Cause we can watch all.
It's a movie I've been wanting to watch for fucking years.
Save,
now.
because like it's always been on my list, but I never got to it.
Also, I randomly found out that Jerry Trainer from iCarly and Drake and Josh fame is just randomly in a scene.
Yes, he is. He is in it, and then also the dude who played Mark in Zoe 101 is also in it.
Oh yeah.
When I was watching it, I was like, "Oh my god, is that the fucking dude from Zoe 101?"
Oh, yeah.
And it was. What would you give Bad Boys out of 10?
I think I said I'd give it a 5.
Mm-hmm. You did say that.
It
My
was,
bad.
it was just an average. I mean, it was a fun action movie, but I wouldn't say like it was like a cinematic masterpiece.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to watch Be Kind Rewind. What is it on?
Same.
Amazon.
Yeah.
They gave me the option to rent or buy it, and I bought it just in case I wanted to watch it again.
Yeah.
How much was it?
I think it was like $10 to buy. And I think it was like 3 something to rent.
I have to look on Voodoo to see how much it is.
Yeah.
I think it might be on there too. I just had.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah. We've juiced quite a bit of movies. I guess 5 in total we juiced on
Yeah.
this. I did 2, you did 2, you did 1.
Shit.
So we juiced 5 movies. So
Mini
you had,
juices.
you had options. But I guess we'll be back next week like normal.
Yep.
Every
Every Thursday.
Thursday.
Be here.
I schedule it for 6 a.m.
Be here.
Because I send it off to Jeff to edit, and Jeff sends it back, and I schedule.
Jeff's a good guy.
Jeff's good people.
Jeff, good people. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add.
Anything else to add?
No, you good.
Yeah, well, it's been another episode, and I've been Dylan.
I've been Kyle.
And I've been James.
And one last time, this has been The Juice.